calling to order, regular meeting of the City Council, Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Thank you. Councilman Rogancy.
Here.
Councilman Dwyer.
Here.
Councilwoman McGee.
Here.
Councilman Noonan.
Here.
Councilman Lafferty.
Here.
Councilwoman Moore is present. Mr. Boyke is absent. Motion to excuse. Support.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Members excused.
Next item is 4, adoption of the agenda, consent agenda. So moved.
Support.
Support Noonan. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Mr. Lafferty?
Thank you. Madam Chair, I'd like to remove item 4E.
For E.
E is in Edward.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Okay, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Sorry,
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is adoption of the agenda. So moved with discussion, please.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Yes. What was item 4E will now be 13F under correspondence from the mayor, and add as item 13G, proposed Second Amendment resolution to reschedule the ballot proposal to renew levy, and that will be item 13G. And Madam Chair, I would like to move 13G to directly after audience participation.
Before announcements?
After announcements.
Okay.
No, yeah, before announcements, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 6A, calendar of pending matters, motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty with discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, I'd like to remove item added on February 25th, the website development item that has been fulfilled as of our last meeting, April 8th.
We will remove that.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7A, approval of the bills of the General Revenue Fund. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7B, approval of the bills of the water and sewer system. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is approval, or is the general fund revenue report. Motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item.
Next item, general fund expenditure report. Receive and file.
So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is audience participation for agenda items only.
Members of the audience who would like to address City Council may do so by filling out an audience form on the right side of the stage. You will have 3 minutes. If you need a countdown, please let me know so that I might bring it to your attention when you have about a minute left. This is for general items. No, sorry, this is for agenda items only. First is Lori Harris. Okay. Nicole, is there any more for agenda? Joel, if you're here, you can come speak and then fill out the form. Are you speaking on an agenda item? Yes, okay. Will do. Just did. Go ahead, Mr. Vanderlinden. Hold on one second, Mr. Vanderlinden. Try it again. Oh, try your button on there. On the microphone.
In my set. Nicole will help him.
I think I got
Oh,
it.
there you go. Okay, so let me restart your time. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm here to talk about 10A, the agenda item about the city budget. I'm very confused and perplexed over the budget display that the mayor was supposed to talk about last Monday. She came up, she spoke about a lot of things, but the budget was not one of them. There's very little information. I was also upset that while she talked about how the police department and the fire department make up 62% of the budget, she failed to say how many officers were actually involved. You know, if you're gonna have a budget for the police, I hope it's over the minimum of 160 officers. Should be more like 180 or so. And the next question comes to me is, when are we gonna fill these positions? Why are we waiting? Why, it's been over a year now. Let's fill these positions, let's take care of these police officers. I mean, we're so short on officers. What do we do when they want to start taking vacations? There also wasn't much information in her speech about what each department is doing, what the changes are for, what the money's going to be used for. I thought it was really a poor display by the mayor, and I was very disappointed. And I hope the council can tell us more today so I know what to expect from the city. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Next is Gloria Sanker.
Good evening, Council. I'm here to talk on your item 10A, public hearing, water budget. I hear we're getting a surprise in the mayor's budget. She's asking for another water rate increase. Why do I say another? Because we just got one some months ago in the council budget. Now it's 2 water rate increases. Both the council and the mayor want a water rate increase. Is there no creative thinking here? It's just increase after increase? We are told we are getting millions of dollars from approving unlimited pot shops, and yet we have to increase the water rates? Why? Both the mayor and the council is out of touch if you think residents, especially seniors, can keep getting gouged with water rate increases. Many of our seniors can barely meet the necessities of food and prescription drugs. Many are living single due to the loss of their spouse and are barely living on Social Security that was established for them some 20 years ago or more. so that many are living on less than $800 a month. By these multiple increases, you are hurting so many people, especially.
Ms. Sanker, check the button. I think you might have hit the button on the microphone. Check the button on the microphone. I think you might have hit the button. Correct. We can't hear you right now.
There's a little green light.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, I'm sorry, and let me start again, please.
I paused your time, so you have a minute and 22 seconds left.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Anyway, I'm here because we understand that there's going to be a water rate increase from the mayor's budget, and she's asking for another water rate increase, and the reason I say another is because we just got one a few months ago that was proposed by you, the city council. Both the council and the mayor want a water rate increase. We're told that we are getting millions of dollars from improving unlimited pot shops, and yet we have to increase water rates? How come? Both the mayor and the council are out of reach, if you are out of touch. If you think that residents, especially seniors, can keep getting gouged with water rate increases. Many of our seniors can barely meet the necessities of food and prescription drugs. Many are living single due to loss of their spouse and are barely living on Social Security that was established for them some 20 years ago, and so that many are living only on $800 a month. By these multiple increases, you are hurting so many people who are already living on low incomes. It's hard for you to recognize their needs because your needs are met so graciously. And with council's water increase some
You're at
months
time,
ago.
Ms. Sanker. Have
Pardon
a good
me?
You're at time.
Well,
Thank you.
I didn't know that I was not being heard.
I paused your time for when you weren't heard, so that your time was preserved. You've had your full 3 minutes.
Do I have any time left?
You do not. You've run out of time. You can speak at the end of the meeting if you'd like to speak under general audience. Thank you. That is the end of audience.
The next item, Madam Chair, is 13G, proposed second amended resolution to reschedule the ballot proposal to renew levy of 4.6176 mills for police and fire safety protection millage. Motion to approve with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Michaels is in the audience, and perhaps she could give us just a brief summary of what we're doing.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Council, if I may, back in, well, it was April 8th, that the council approved a millage levy, actually March 13th and April 8th. The police and fire millage was approved for the primary election, and council called a special election. Well, we had an informal review with the Attorney General office, and they didn't want to rush the formal process, so encouraged us to move the election to November. We still wanted to proceed with August at that time, but that prompted us to really take a good hard look at the two elections. And it boiled down to cost. In August, the primary, there's only one school election affecting, I think, one district, 3 schools. If we have the millage in August, that makes it a citywide election. So that obviously increases the cost and the preparation and the staffing. So the request is to, based on the cost, move the election to November. We anticipate other ballot proposals in November that will be citywide. This way we're not duplicating costs, we're not duplicating staffing, resources. It's an economical decision. And I will say this, if you don't mind, the Attorney General and the Governor really stepped up for Warren. And they did expedite the review, but it was just the fact that they were encouraging us. They wanted more time for the formal review that prompted us to take a good hard look and weigh the options. And we believe the better option is November for economics of the city.
Thank you, Ms. Michaels.
Thank you.
Any additional questions?
Madam President?
Mr. Lafferty?
Thank you. Ms. Michaels, just one clarification. In your letter, you state that there are no state election proposals, and you're asking whether or not November 4th qualifies as a general state election?
Correct.
All right.
Yes, that is being reviewed by the state. We don't believe that a special election has to be called for November because there are no state questions. But because there are no state questions, we just want that confirmed. And there's plenty of time to call a special election if we need one.
Okay, so there still may be extra,
Yeah.
one more step.
I doubt it, but Ms. Bufa is helping me navigate that question through the state.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam
Thank you.
President? Oh,
Mr. Lafferty? please.
I am done. And perhaps Mr. Schroeder could look at the initially portion of the proposal, or the resolution, that we're saying that it should be rescheduled to the state general election. Is that, being that specific, is that a potential issue? God bless you.
Ms. Michaels, he is referencing the paragraph where it says rescheduling to the state general election on November 4th, 2025. I believe we could just refer to that as the general election. Is that
Perfect.
any objection from
Please.
you for that?
Please,
So
thank you. Thank
you
you.
would have a friendly amendment to strike the word
Good.
state.
Madam Chair, I'll make that amendment that in the third paragraph, we strike the word state from suggested that the charter proposal could be rescheduled to the general election on November 4th.
Can we amend the original motion? Is that appropriate? No objection. Ms. Moore and Mr. Lafferty, you seconded it, so I assume you're good?
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Noonan?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Michaels, how many ballot proposals are we scheduling for the November election then?
I anticipate probably 3.
Okay,
There'll be one coming over from, I believe, Mayor Stone, and I believe Council Legal Affairs might have some proposals to introduce. 3.
okay. So, and the city is reckoning that we're going to be able to get the public to pass all of those, correct?
That's, we always hope.
Because sometimes I've heard if you have more than one ballot proposal, the public can get confused.
Councilman, there will not be another millage. As far as I know, no other millages in November, but I understand what you're saying.
Oh, okay,
And obviously, there'll be coordination and
okay.
clarification for the public.
Because, yeah, if August was, like, not very expensive, but it was more likely that our millage would pass, then I think that would be great. But I probably this is in good hands, and November will work fine. I'm happy to vote for it, since you're asking us to.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
yes,
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is announcements. 9A, resolution in support of Workers' Memorial Day. Madam Chair, I believe you requested this, and I don't know if anybody is in the
No.
audience. No?
You want to just
Just
read
want me to read
Yeah.
it? Whereas on April 28, 1971, the Occupational Safety and Health Act went into effect, promising every worker the right to a safe job. And whereas every year on April 28th, communities and work sites around the world honor friends, family members, and colleagues who have been killed or injured on the job. And whereas the U.S. Department of Labor and the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that Michiganders have died while on the job at an average rate of 147 people per year over the past decade. And whereas the 2024 National Census of Fatal Occupational Injuries found a worker died every 99 minutes from a work-related injury. And whereas it is appropriate to honor the memory of the courageous and dedicated members of Michigan's labor force who have been injured or disabled or have died as a result of workplace accidents. And whereas we remember those who have died in workplace catastrophes, suffered occupational-related diseases, or have been injured due to dangerous conditions. And whereas recognition of the integrity of Michigan's workforce and its achievements on behalf of the economic growth of our state is necessary, and whereas the City Council of the City of Warren wishes to pay tribute to the workers who have died or been injured or disabled in workplace accidents, we honor the contributions of Michigan's workforce and call for increased workplace safety, and whereas the City Council of the City of Warren renews our efforts to seek stronger workplace safety and health protections, better standards and enforcement, and fair and just compensation, and by rededicating ourselves to improving safety and health in every city workplace. Now therefore be it resolved by the Warren City Council that the members of this legislative body declare April 28th, 2025 as Workers' Memorial Day. Motion to approve.
Support Lafferty.
Support Lafferty. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Any other announcements?
Madam Chair,
Ms. Moore.
I'd just like to recognize a few of our firefighters who went to northern Michigan to help during the ice storm. Those members of the fire department were Captain Hans Sievert, fire equipment operator Rick Breen, firefighter paramedic Christopher Lipka, firefighter paramedic Calvin Taylor, and probationary firefighter paramedic Anthony Bonet. Thank you so much for going above and beyond and helping our friends in the north. Today, I'm sure most of you are aware, there was a pretty serious fire and explosion that took place in Roseville, just over our border. The Warren Fire Department was called in to offer assistance. I think it was a two alarm. I don't know how many engines we sent. But in addition to that, our firefighters were covering EMS calls for Roseville, and our PD was covering some of the police calls in Roseville. So, you know, when bad things happen, everybody comes together, and I think that's the beauty of being government and having such fine first responders that we're able to not only help in our city and keep our people safe, but to run whenever anybody else is in danger and needs our help. So thank you to everybody today. Everybody stepped up. That put a strain on our system as well. And thank you, everybody today.
Any further announcements, Ms. Moore?
I'm done, thank you.
Okay. Ms. McGee?
Yes, thank you. On this coming Saturday, April the 26th, there will be a Breaking Barrier, Building Future, a second chance celebration that will be given by Representative Donovan McKinney. And we will be providing resources, hourly resources, employment opportunity, mental health services. Some of the skilled trades will be attending, expungement assistance, and civic engagement and voter registration. So that will be this upcoming Saturday, April the 26th, from 12 p.m. until 3 p.m. There will be a roundtable discussion featuring panel discussions, and there will be legal services there as well. This will be located at the MRCC Union Hall, 23401 Mound Road in Warren, Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
Madam President, through the chair.
Mr. Dwyer.
Yeah, also, this Saturday, the 26th, from 9 to 3, our very own Animal Welfare Commission will be putting on a low-cost vaccination clinic. And that'll be located at Warren DPW, which is at 12801 Stevens. And what they'll be doing, when I say low-cost vaccines, is $10 vaccines for such things as rabies, distemper, and bordetella, and that's 1 or a 3-year. They will also be doing $10 microchips. So I encourage everybody who has a dog or a cat to try to make that. Again, that's this Saturday from 9 to 3 at the Warren DPW. Thank you. That's it.
Any other announcements?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. For anybody that enjoys watching large plants devour human beings, the Warren Civic Theater is producing Little Shop of Horrors at the Owen Jacks Recreational Center. I'm sure the humans involved will be just fine afterwards. They will be performing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 2nd through the 4th. The Friday and Saturday shows are at 7 p.m. Sunday shows are at 3. And there will be a second week of productions again the following week, May 9th, 10th, and 11th. Again, Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m., Sunday matinee at 3. Tickets are $20 per person and are available on warrencivic.org. The content is appropriate for ages 13 and older. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Moore?
Madam Chair, I want to tell everyone that if you're interested, this Saturday, we will be conducting our budget workshop from 8:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. We'll be in conference room A. Additionally, we will have Zoom. If anyone is interested in appearing remotely, I will put that link on the council Facebook page. So if you're interested in listening in, that will be available to anyone. Of course, if you're welcome to come in person if you'd like. And then also, we will be having hearings starting at 6 o'clock on Monday. And if we don't finish, we'll be doing Tuesday, but hopefully we finish up on Monday. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Okay, next item.
Next item is 10A, public hearing, fiscal year 2025-2026 City of Warren General Fund and Water Budget.
Is someone from the administration can summarize? Mr. Knapp? You not summarize, you just maybe give us the process. Okay.
Mark Knapp, Assistant Controller. I wasn't prepared to do.
It's okay.
Usually it's first just citizen comments, but
Mark, could you speak into the microphone, please?
Yeah.
it's on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The budget, as prepared by the administration, was placed on the city website on April the 14th, the same day as it's either the 14th or the 15th. It was supposed to be done the same time that the presentation was made by the mayor. And the summary, I mean, other than telling you that the general fund budget, total general fund budget is $152,947,96. And the budget of all funds is a $403,338,416.
Thank you. You didn't have to give us a summary, but I appreciate that.
If I'd have known I had to, I would have prepared some.
It's not necessary. You're all set. Thank
All right,
you.
thanks.
Okay, I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the audience who wants to speak on the matter?
Can we now talk about the water budget?
Ms. Sanker, you can, it's a public hearing. You can speak.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'm here because we are getting surprised in the mayor's budget. She's asking for another water rate increase. Why do I say another? Because we just got one some months ago in the council's budget. Now, it's 2 water rate increases. Both the council and the mayor want a water rate increase. Is there no creative thinking here? Is it just increase after increase? We are told we are getting millions of dollars from approving unlimited pot shops, and yet we have to increase water rates. How come? Both the mayor and the council is out of reach if you think residents, especially seniors, can keep getting gouged with water rate increases. Many of our seniors can barely meet the necessities of food and prescription drugs. Many are living single due to loss of their spouse and are barely living on Social Security that was established for them some 20 years ago, so that many are living on $800 a month. By these multiple increases, you are hurting so many people that are on low income. It's hard for you to recognize their needs because your needs are met so generously. And with the council's water increase some months ago, I never heard one saying a water rate increase would be a hardship on our seniors who are on fixed income. None of you, not one, sympathized with our low-income residents by saying an increase will be a hardship on our seniors who are already struggling with paying for groceries and medicines that have greatly increased. The seniors are your largest voting bloc and the most reliable for voting. Every time you increase the water rates, the seniors get poorer. You take everything out of their reach. Is it really necessary to increase the water rates by either the council or the mayor when all the millions of dollars will be coming in from the unlimited pot houses throughout our city? Think about it.
Thank you. Any, Mr. Van der Linden?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have some questions about the budget. I was given a text that says that there's 174 officers that are on the budget. I figure right now we're somewhere around 135 police officers working. So what happens to the difference in the money? If we only have 135 police officers and our budget that was approved for the police department is for 178, where's all that money going? Is it going back to the general fund? Is it going towards some socialist democratic fundraiser? I mean, don't we have a right to know what's going on with the money? Why the money's not being spent? The other thing about the budget is why don't we get some more equipment? We've talked about it many times. So this room can be set up for people that are unable to come, can call in or listen to the meeting and participate, like Mr. Baker and stuff. I just think that with all the technology and stuff we have going, we can think about the the disabled Americans who want to be part of their society, want to be part of this council in their city, and who are silenced and shut up by the mayor and the lack of resources or the lack of technology being used. There's many things we can do with some of this money that's not being used. Why don't you let us know where it's going and why it's being used? Maybe we can use some of that money to take care of this water rate that Mrs. Sinker's upset about. Thank you for your time again. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Ms. Harris, you have the floor.
Hi. First, I want to mention Olu must have forgotten to take the signs down after last Monday from the mayor's budget hearing because they're still on the chairs. But I did it for him. I am concerned about the budget, and I apologize. My neighbor fell, and I had to take care of her this afternoon, so I didn't get to go through like I wanted to. But the things that I did notice when I was looking at the budget is, no offense to our newly hired HR person, I want to know why the increase in the HR person's salary is in the budget. Was that used to hire him? Was he promised that, so it has to be approved? So I'm interested in that. I'm interested in, for example, the Veterans Commission. Last year, the budget had $40-some thousand given to it, and we don't have an active Veterans Commission. So that means that our veteran memorial site has not been cared for, right? Not right? Okay, well, that's, when I'm looking at it as a homeowner and a resident, I can't read anything more into what I see than just the numbers, okay? I am aware that the fire department has had millions of dollars removed from their budget, and I believe one of the items was equipment. And my understanding is it takes a long time to get equipment for the fire department. And my understanding about the fire department is that we are still down firefighters, even though someone might claim that we're fully staffed. Because I heard that there used to be 4 firefighters on a truck, and now there's only 2. So instead of sending just one truck with 4 firefighters, they're sending 2 trucks. So they have enough manpower at the scene. The same with EMS, that EMS and the trucks have to go, the engines have to go out. We need better staffing, and we need appropriate equipment. It isn't going to do any good to have fire stations if we don't have the equipment and the proper staffing. The police department, why is their budget cut? Those are the questions I want you to ask and get answers for. I want you to ask and be satisfied with the answers you get during these hearings. And I know that, they're 15-minute sections of time. You don't get a lot of time to ask and get answers. But I think that you need to do this. I'd like to know why we aren't hiring enough police and who is holding it back. Who is preventing us from doing the right things to hire? I'd also like to, in terms of the HR department, I want to know, this is a little aside, I want to encourage our new HR director to really push for accessibility on the website for the city, so that the website and jobs and applications are accessible by all people. And that would be a great progress for the HR department. I understand the water increase, and it seems to me that a couple years ago we had more than a 7% increase, and last year we had a 5% increase, correct? And this year a 5%. It's going to add up pretty soon. And for someone like me that doesn't use a lot of water unless I have company, because I don't always use 2 units, I still have to pay for 2 units every month. You realize that, right? So the people that are living alone, and they're paying more money per unit than the people that are using 7 or 8 units. I also found it interesting that the mayor's chief assistant, can't remember her job description, that she's getting a raise. I also find it a little bit disconcerting that community outreach directors are getting $78,000 each a year in salary, not including benefits. I'm wondering how much money there is in the library. Like, are we going to, will the millage stay the same for the library? Because I'm under the impression she has a lot of money set aside. And let's hope that we get that new library going on the south end of the city. I think that's pretty much what I could look at. I understand I don't understand it the way that you guys do, and I trust that you will be looking very carefully, and I will see you on Saturday when you are hearing from the department heads. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Anyone else want to speak on this item? Okay. I will close the public hearing and turn it over to council.
We don't take any action on this.
Okay. Thank you.
Next item is 10B, which is a public hearing, request for standard rezoning located on the south side of 12 Mile Road, approximately 120 feet west of Van Dyke Avenue, from the present zoning classifications of C1, Local Business District, R1C, One Family Residential District, and R1P, One Family Residential and Parking District, to R3, Multiple Family Dwelling District, 7602 12 Mile Road, 1316 226 019 20 22 26 44 45 46 47 61 63, Section 16, Peter Snyder, Assad Sob, petitioner.
Someone from the city able to summarize this matter? Mr. Worth, is this your item?
excuse me, thank you, Madam President and Honorable Council. My name is Ron Worth. I'm the Planning Director, and I'm here representing the Planning Commission. And just to summarize, basically what this is a development, multi-family residential development, 3 buildings, 2 buildings with 6 units, 1 building with 4 units, that's 18 total, that would be placed on that property on the south side of 12 Mile west of Van Dyke and north of Stanley. There'll be, I mean, those are the units in particular. You've got a variety of zonings that exist there. They're going to an R3 multiple family dwelling district. We looked at it, and in the master plan it lists that it is traditional residential. We felt that what was looked at in 2021 changed to an area that hasn't had development in a long time. Therefore, we call it a redevelopment site. Wanted to mention that. So when we get to the amount of units, I said they're proposing 18. The zoning ordinance requirement is 13, and so they're a little higher than normal in that respect. When we get to parking, there would be 31 parking spaces as opposed to 36 parking spaces. So there's a difference there that could be workable from the planning department's position, if approved, coming to us for site plan approval. There are certain things that we'd modify. We did not spend time modifying this. This is their concept plan to the Planning Commission, who recommended this for approval to you, and then to you. We work with site plans all the time, and we try to help to reduce any ZBA issues that might be put together here. If you looked at the plan, there was one particular issue that can be changed, I think, easily, and they show an access driveway to Stanley Avenue, and we're not in favor of traffic on that street coming from this 18 dwelling development. So that can be changed, I think, rather easily. I've looked at the plan to make 2 driveways coming in off of 12 Mile. So these are modifications, but the bottom line here is the use of the property that we're looking at, and we definitely favor what the proposal is. And then there's minor other things here. There's also our recommendation. It's A, B, C, D, and I call it D1 here, that clearly indicates we favor this. So unless you want me to read that, I think that, in my opinion, summarizes that. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them.
Thank you. If you could stay close to the mic.
All
Is there
right,
anyone
sorry.
from the petitioner here to speak, Mr. Worth? Can you introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. Assad Soba on behalf of Forward Development.
If there's anything you want to share about the project?
I've had this property for a little over 10 years, and it's just literally been sitting there, and I was there cutting grass today, and I'm tired of it. And we've thought of many things, it's just not, some of it is for retail, commercial, some of it is residential. It was kind of hard to put anything in there besides the 3 buildings that we are proposing. I think it will complement the site. It's just been sitting there too long, vacant land. 12 and Van Dyke is just a beautiful spot, it really is. It's in the heart of Warren, I believe, and it's too close to everything, the tech center, to your building, to everything. And I think 18 units would generate more residents, would generate more taxes, would fill in that empty land that's been sitting there for a while. And that's
Thank you. If you could sit close so that if we have any questions, you can come back up
Yes.
to the microphone. Thank you. Sorry, it's so bright up here. I'm having a hard time seeing.
I know, it's terrible.
So I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the audience who would like to speak on this matter? Hearing and seeing none, I will close the public hearing and turn it over to council for action.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Moore.
motion to approve. I have a question.
Support Lafferty.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Discussion. Mhm.
Just so I know where this is, so I can orient tell me what businesses it's near.
It's on the southwest corner of 12 and Van Dyke, right behind the gas station, plus where Happy's Pizza, City Burger, and the High Sushi, that little building.
Okay.
It's right across from the tech center.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Madam President.
Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. First thought here, Mr. Snyder, finally. That's the word I have to describe this project as, finally.
Okay.
I have lived in Warren now for nearly 47 years, and it will be great to see something going in and I look forward to seeing the site plan eventually, and what you plan to do with it. I'm sure it will be marvelous. We have, not this council in particular, but the previous council turned down 2 other missing middle housing developments due to where they were situated. This one is different characteristically from those because it's virtually on its own, and it fronts 12 and Van Dyke in that particular area. I really believe that this is a great spot for
Thank you.
multifamily.
Thank you.
And so, but I do have a couple of questions, and so and it may be for you or for Mr. Worth as well, you have to seek a variance from the ZBA for the 5 parking space differential. So if that is not granted, what is your alternative for amending the plan to accommodate? Will you change the unit construction so that you don't have the additional spaces required?
We're open-minded. I also own that building where that little strip center is. And with today's market is, I also own a restaurant, Table 53. Barely anybody dines in anymore. Everything's DoorDash or ordered out. Even though there's 26, 28 parking spots there, I assure you, most of the time it's half vacant. So owning that and having access to it from the alley, and we're gearing more toward, either seniors, someone that's gonna stay there a while. And nowadays, barely anybody has more than 1 car in a couple, or we're proposing 8 units that are 1 bedroom in 1 building. So we're shooting for that 1 person that will occupy instead of, 2 or 3. That's why we kept them at 1 bedroom. We're also proposing a building with a 2 bedroom, maybe for a couple, and being at 12 and Van Dyke where that buses run all the time. I am not a stranger in the community. I own numerous condominiums and houses, and we valued it to where we think we have enough, but I don't set the rules, you do, and we're hoping we could meet what we run into.
Okay, and given the context of the project, the ZBA, and I can't speak for them, you're contained to the parking within the site. I understand you might have overflow opportunity on property you presently own that might abut it, but whether or not they'll consider that is entirely up to them. our ordinances call for X number of spots per site, so I'm glad to hear you're amenable. I'm just looking forward to seeing if the ZBA isn't as favorable as you're hoping, that there's an alternative and it doesn't slow down your progress.
We're hoping it doesn't. I'm open-minded, and
Okay.
again, you'll be pleased. I was in front of you about 2 years ago regarding a property on Vermont, 3 beautiful houses, 3 new families, and this is a property where I will keep, not to, sell condominiums. It's an apartment where I'll keep it.
Of course.
It'll be very well maintained.
The couple of other questions I have, you have, I see egress onto Stanley, but
Yes.
is there, and if I'm reading this properly, it looks like there are a couple of present curbs with egress onto 12 Mile.
Yes.
And are you going to have any egress onto 12 Mile at all?
We are going to work with Mr. Worth and the department very well. Whatever they recommend, we're able to do. We were hoping not to do it on 12 Mile because of traffic. I personally prefer coming in off of 12. The spots are there, but we were just hoping that whoever's backing up from there with the traffic didn't slow it down. So that's why we proposed it on Stanley. But the engineer and the architect will work with Mr. Worth to try to make this project a go, and no headache for any of the surrounding areas.
Okay, and I'm certain the Planning Commission will, engage Macomb County for a traffic study if one needs to be conducted, should there be egress onto 12 Mile. But I am concerned about egress onto Stanley and the disruption to the neighborhood in that particular area. Granted, it's 31 spaces at present. The number that may or may not be coming out at various times may not be that drastic, but perhaps no right turn through the neighborhood, and they have to only a left turn out towards Van Dyke may be a possibility, but I'll leave that up to the Planning Commission.
I've met most of the neighbors, not to interrupt you, and they've been wonderful to work with. Last time, there was a gentleman, he had some concerns. We talked about it, and he gave the blessing. I keep up the property very well.
You do?
So the neighbors are okay with it, and they're kind of excited. What'll kind of enhance the neighborhood and bring up their values a little bit without
All right.
affecting their taxes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I frequently go to City Burger,
I
Happy's
appreci-
Pizza.
I appreciate it.
It's good food, and yeah, I see that property quite often. It's in good shape.
Thank you.
So
Greatly appreciate it.
this'll make it better. I have no further questions.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Madam Chair, I need some help from our attorney. An item, we sent out the agenda early.
Thank you so much.
This this week, because Ms. Camp was gone, and subsequent to the agenda being posted, we were informed by the administration to remove an item, and I said I would remove it at the table, and I failed to do that. It is one of the items on the consent agenda. Mr. Schroeder, if you could I make a motion to rescind, or?
There's Rule 14.1 of the Council Rules of Procedure. It's entitled Rescind or Repeal. So what you would have to do, it's a multi-step process. The first step would be to amend the current agenda and add a rescission of the particular item. And then, once that's added to the agenda, you would move to rescind that item and vote on the rescission.
Okay. What Mr. Schroeder just said. So I would make a motion to amend the agenda at this point and put 4Q as the next item on the agenda, which would be, we'll put it 11. What do you suggest?
I would suggest you could make it item 13G because it was something
H,
that
13H.
13G, yeah, 13H. Since it came over from the mayor, and that's under correspondence from the mayor.
Okay.
And H would be rescission of approval of item 4Q.
Okay, and then we'll deal with it at that point.
Ms.
Support.
Moore made a motion, Mr. Noonan supports that. Any additional discussion? Okay, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
And my apologies to everyone. Next item is 11A, request to approve memorandum of understanding. 1, consideration and adoption of a resolution approving memorandum of understanding regarding benefits and employment terms for police commissioner. And 2, consideration and adoption of a resolution approving memorandum of understanding regarding benefits and employment terms for deputy commissioner. Motion to approve with discussion.
Support.
Lafferty.
Support Noonan. Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I only have a question about a discrepancy. In the in the memorandum of understanding for the police commissioner, the salary is listed as $147,810, subject to wage increases at the same percentage rates and times as provided to the members of the Warrant Command officers. Okay, so we have 147 there, 147,810. Then in the 25 budget adopted by council, well, first let's go to 2023. That was 138,000 in 2023. In 2024, that salary was 142,000. Then adopted by council for this year, it was 150,381. And now the proposed budget for this year, 25-26, shows the present rate that the police commissioner is being paid is $156,906, and that is the rate the mayor is requesting. So I don't understand how today, if we're approving 146,000, how that went from that to bypassed the 150,000, and now we're at presently 156,000. That's a $10,000 difference. Does anybody have an answer to that?
Ms. Michaels?
Madam Chair, President, Council, when I was given this figure, I believe it was from HR, at the time I believe the rate increase did not go into effect because this was prepared back in December. And I believe that's the rate I was given back in December.
Okay.
So maybe with the percentage increase.
So now I don't know
It's the
where we
only
went.
thing I could think
of. I guess then I don't know how we got from 150, because the 2025 budget that we approved was 150,000, and that would have been as of July 1, 2025.
Which I believe is the max, that takes the base salary plus whatever percentage increases that they'd be entitled to throughout the year.
Okay. Okay. So, and I think this is another thing I'm not going to stop this, and everybody's doing a good job, and I'm not against any of this. But you just said this was done back in December, and that's part of my concern what happened, and I'm glad Mr. Gayos is here to listen to this about some of the problems that have happened in the past that you need to know about. When the police commissioner was brought in, the new police commissioner, he was, as I understand, given a car and other things before he was ever appointed. So we were well past the point where he was given access to city email, was on email chains and everything, and found out he had never even been appointed, had never been sworn in. So that had to be done after all these things happened. And, you know, my concern at the time was, if he had been driving a city car and he wasn't an employee, who's liable for that? You know, what if something had happened during that time? So then we rectified that. I think immediately then he was appointed, but it was a long time after he had been brought in, because there was a period where he came in, got a car, and there were a month maybe, 'cause I know he drove a city car while he was here from out of town for a while, after he had been announced he was appointed, but he really wasn't appointed. So, and so that now we've got confusion now, because these figures were back in December, this is April. This understanding should have been put in place in December when he started work. And I assume he got a car and all those things. Who approved that? Because council did not approve that, either verbal or contract of those benefits of his employment, where council has to approve this. Now we're like 4 months, 5 months after that happened, that we're approving the contract we have. So I think this is just, Mr. Gayos, you can see the problem here. We've got to have some processes in place where these things are done according to the charter, according to the rules. You know, we have liability issues in the city we have to deal with. So, you know, this is, I guess we'll figure out what he's being paid. Maybe I'll get a copy of his paycheck. He'll send me his pay stub. We'll figure it out, because I don't know any other way to figure out how much anybody's being paid unless we get their pay stub. So, because we're told, you know, we get a rate of pay, and then, oh no, that's the top of the scale. Well, now it says 50, so is that, apparently that's not the top of the scale, because he's gonna be paid, it says he's being paid now $156,000. So, I don't know, maybe I can get an answer from payroll, how much he's actually, Mr. Knapp. Yeah, I'm sure we have that information, and I just, you know, maybe we could have that by Saturday.
Absolutely.
Because we would like to know what people are actually being paid, so that we can make decisions on raises and things like that. And there's gonna be a little bit of confusion, because we did get org charts from departments, but many of them sent org charts on what they want their organization to be, not what it is presently. So that's gonna be a little difficult for our hearings, that some of them tell us what, and that's what we want. We wanna know how things exist now. So it's gonna be a little confusing, I think, but we'll get through it.
Okay.
We're smart people, we're diligent, we'll figure it
Like I
out.
said, I'll get a clarification on that for you.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I had.
Any other discussion?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Lafferty?
through the chair to Secretary Moore. And I'm not sure if you cited this or not. Item 3 in the MOU, the salary of the police commissioner is $147,810. This actually specifies what the salary is.
Yeah, it
And-
says 147,810, but Ms. Michaels just said that's not correct, because this was prepared in December.
Understood.
So apparently he got a raise from that point to this point.
Mhm. So how can we vote on the memo if it's not correct?
Well, we could vote on it, subject to having that correct number input in there. I think that'll be a matter of fact, what it is.
Well, it's subject to
Here's all the documents.
wage increases at the same percentage rates provided to police command. But those are the year-over-year increases, not the base rate of pay. So I think, and the same is for the police commissioner. The police commissioner, according to the present rate in the budget, is
You mean
$154,000.
Deputy or deputy?
I'm sorry, the deputy police commissioner is $154,374, and the memo, the MOU states $145,424.
Right.
So we
Right.
have the same problem in both MOUs and both resolutions.
So could we just approve those contingent on putting the current, exactly what they're being paid as of today? Would that be good with everybody?
I would be amenable to
Okay,
that.
okay.
And if that can be provided to council prior to the expiration of our reconsideration period.
By Friday? Okay, perfect,
Okay.
perfect.
Fine.
So
Thank
the
you.
makers of this motion were,
Me and Hal.
Ms. Moore, yeah, and Mr. Noonan. Are you comfortable with that amendment?
Yes.
I had one observation, if you're finished, Mr. Lafferty.
I'm done.
There, in the MOUs, it says that the deputy commissioner has a dotted line, I don't know the exact language, but I think it's a dotted line, reports both to the mayor and the police commissioner, which may be typical police setup, but seemed a bit odd to have one person reporting to both people. So maybe during the budget hearings, as we go through things, someone can explain the setup. Oh, it's in the charter. Oh, thank you.
Madam Chair, I did ask, I clarified that today, and I did find, actually, Mr. Dwyer helped me with that. He checked some past practice for me, and that has been the practice.
Oh, okay,
Because I know it's difficult to serve two masters,
correct.
but that is apparently the way it is.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11B, amendments to the 2019, 2020, 21, 22, and 22, 23 Housing and Community Development Action Plans Home Budget. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 12A, Council Secretary Mindy Moore, discussion in Ray, Motor City Sports Bar, 21231 Mound Road. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this item has been a problem for at least a year that I know about, that it first was brought to my attention from residents around the Motor City Sports Bar. And this is on Mound, but it affects other streets nearby. I did get some history there, and there have been 253 runs in 3 years to the bar. And that doesn't include other calls that could be on the adjoining streets, problems that are happening. Mr. Conlon, you have some video that maybe we could play to show what's going on over there? And while he's bringing those up, I will tell you that the police have done, they've had campaigns over there with special forces. Here's what we're dealing with. Go. This is in the parking lot and around the outside of the bar. And the problems are not inside the bar, that's not where the calls are, it's outside, in the parking lot, in the streets around it. And the police have done targeted enforcement there, they've tried different things, and it's had no effect whatsoever. You have more, Patrick? I think there's more. There you go. And you can see the problem is people gathering outside the bar, and I guess they're outside the bar drinking. And if, you know, we can hear this, so you know the neighbors, the residents are hearing it at their homes. There's a couple more.
Those are all cars?
Mm-hmm. It's a fairly small parking lot, as I understand, so that there's spillage out on to the residential. You can see back there, all the cars everywhere.
Yeah, that backs up to Albany. It's
Yeah.
one side of the street is homes, the other,
Yeah.
the other side doesn't have any homes.
Yeah. In Ezra?
Elsa?
Elsa's the other street that's affected.
And then Syracuse is behind it, but I
Yeah.
don't know if there are any issues there.
There's one more. And this is like 2 o'clock in the morning, this is 1 o'clock, this is very late or early in the morning. Yeah. I mean, it's just insane. So, this is a problem. This is a problem for our police. This is a problem for the residents. And I think it's time that we take action and declare this a public nuisance. I don't know what the answer is there. The parking lot is just too small for that business. And, you know, I don't know if we go and put you know, you put no parking, it's not fair to the residents who need to park there. So I think at this point that we direct the city attorney's office to take action to declare this a public nuisance and shut them down.
Support. I think I already did that.
Okay.
So, your updated motion is to declare it a public nuisance?
Yes.
Ms. Moore, you made that motion. Mr. Lafferty, you supported that?
I did.
Okay. Discussion.
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Have they been given a warning already?
Madam Chair, I don't know if any of the police here are familiar with that, Mr. Captain Hodis. I did talk to Deputy Rushton and actually, the police officers told the residents to contact us.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I did not hear the original question, though.
Had the owner of the Motor City Sports Bar been given a warning about the people that are on the outside in the parking lot to clear it up?
One of the problems that we run into, the owner is responsible for what's going on inside of the property, as well as the parking lot. This is spilling over to Albany, Syracuse, as had been indicated earlier. The owner has no responsibility over there, but the crowds still gather. It's like a tailgate, or even pre-gaming for the people that are going in the bar. It's a smaller venue. The parking lot is too small for capacity, and it's not in really good condition. So you get a lot of the overflow that parks in Albany, which would be fine, except people don't leave their cars when they're on Albany. They're playing their music, and it's only going to get worse. But the owner is aware there's been a problem. I know there was a Liquor Control Commission investigation that was done. I don't know the outcome of that. I don't believe if there are any sanctions or anything like that that were imposed on the business. But I know the owner is aware that this is a nuisance.
So my next question is, if we declare it a nuisance, who would that go through? The Motor City Bar?
They would have to close down.
Even though they don't have control of what's?
They have control of their business, they have control of their parking lot, and just to give a little background, there was another bar on Hoover. It's where Eminem got in trouble.
Okay. Yeah, the old, geez.
Hot Rock.
Yes.
Okay. That was a big problem, and we declared it a nuisance. We were going to shut them down, and they changed their, the music they played. They went from, I don't know what kind of music, but they went to country music.
Yes.
All the problems went away.
I was working on midnights at the time, as a patrol officer. I
Right.
remember when they switched.
So that made a huge difference, and I'm not saying there's never any problems. Anytime people are drinking and girls are involved, you know, there's gonna be some guys fighting over them or something, right?
Well, sure,
But-
that's normal.
Yeah, and then we closed down Aridin Hall because of, that was horrible, what was going, that was, you probably remember
No, you're
Aridin.
rehashing my career, ma'am.
So, I think the only thing we can do is declare it a public nuisance. Maybe the owner wants to change what sort of music he plays, what kind of place it is, to alleviate these problems. If not, I think we have to shut them down, because we just can't keep, somebody's gonna get hurt really bad one of these days. Somebody's gonna get run over or worse, and so I think that this is the time for this.
Madam President?
Ms. McGee, are you
Sorry.
finished?
Sorry.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes. Madam Secretary, I'm not familiar with what kind of process this would be, because a nuisance of a nuisance house would get abated, get torn down or something. This doesn't get torn down. Does the bar owner come before us and tell us what he's going to do, or how do they respond to this so that it becomes complete?
Maybe Mr. Schroeder.
Maybe Mr.
would be
Schroeder.
better to answer that than me, because legal procedure.
I think the ultimate issue is with the public nuisance. We talked about Chapter 21 public nuisances recently with the homeless shelter that was not controlling the premises. And ultimately, the council is going to refer this to the city attorney's office, who then could file a nuisance action in circuit court that would result in the business being closed. In the attorney's office, they have to show that there has been a public nuisance. As exhibits to that lawsuit, they could use the 270-some police runs and the videos and the testimony and affidavits of the police department. Ultimately, you're getting the place closed and padlocked because it's a nuisance, and certainly just reading the definition of public nuisance in the ordinances and in common law, it certainly seems to fit. Aridin Hall was the one many years ago that Annette Guattari-Ross, who's now the court administrator, brought that lawsuit and succeeded in circuit court. The place was shut down by the court. This does not stop with respect to Councilman McGee's concern. You know, there could be some negotiation here with the ownership if they act fast and swiftly and work with the city attorney's office, and then maybe save the cost of litigation and get this under control. But you can't give them a long time to get this under control. So the idea would be to refer it to the city attorney's office, let Ms. Michaels look at it, and start the process of what would be a public nuisance lawsuit. In fact, the ordinance says you can refer it to the city attorney or the prosecuting attorney of Macomb County. I think the council would want to start here with the city attorney.
Okay, so if the owner acts quickly, they could avoid the lawsuit. Who would notify them, unless they're watching tonight?
So again, that would be through the city attorney, possibly sending a notice saying that, you know, please contact us within 10 days, or pursuant to the order of the council, we will be filing a public nuisance action. If you have a plan to abate this nuisance, we're going to have to act quickly, and we're going to have proof that you're complying, and maybe there's a compliance plan they could come up with, and then the police could monitor that over a period of time. But that would be generally how the process would go.
I think that's a splendid idea, and I'm sure the neighbors will be very delighted, because it sounds like it's been a nightmare. Thank you.
Any additional discussion?
Madam President,
Mr. Lafferty?
listening to Mr. Schroeder gave me one other item to think about. If the owner does act quickly and is able to, adjust their business and, start to control the environment, I think there's maybe a second track we can take here as well. Along Albany, again, there are no homes on that side of Albany, and when we had a particular business of ill repute on the corner of Mound and Martin, there were no parking signs installed from Mound all the way to Grobel. And in fact, they're still there, Captain. There's a Dairy Queen there now. Not sure if they're necessary, but we'll take that up later.
What was it, no repute, was it?
It was a,
John John.
it was John John's, a certain style of business that shall not be mentioned. And, but perhaps, could we get traffic engineering from PD to establish a no parking zone along that would be the east side of Albany?
Yes, sir, we can look at that. I believe there is no parking along there. One of the other problems I think you may, and this may help the residents out, that's just a regular cyclone fence along the back side of, or the west side of that property for Motor City. Maybe entertain, building some kind of a wall so that, it may divert some of the noise from the parking lot.
Captain, can you speak up just a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Maybe Motor City would be willing to build some kind of a wall along the west side of their parking lot. With it being a cyclone fence, that noise is able to travel from the parking lot to those residents, and also the people on Albany are able to talk back and forth with the people in the parking lot. You build a barrier there, and that may get people to move along.
Okay.
Just an option.
Definitely thinking ahead there. So let's see what happens with the nuisance order. I'm absolutely supportive of it, and if we can make some minor tweaks in the meantime while that's all taking place, certainly get that addressed. Thank you.
What kind of feedback, pardon me, what kind of feedback will we get to know that this has been accomplished? Do we need to ask for the attorney's office to tell us at the next meeting how this is going or something?
Closed session, Mr. Noonan.
We'll set a closed session.
Oh.
Because it'll be a legal
Okay.
proceeding.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13A, consideration and adoption of a resolution amending the ordinance for Michigan Transportation Fund Bonds Series 2018. First reading, so moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
13B, request of the Police Department for an increase in budgeted appropriations in the amount of $107,451 to cover the costs of purchasing additional police vehicles in the fiscal 2025 budget. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved with discussion.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Yeah, I just, as I understand, they're asking for police cars before the budget process because we need them. And I'm sure you're aware, some of these police cars get, 250,000 miles on them, where they've had 3 transmissions replaced, and, they just don't last. Plus, they get in accidents and all kinds of things, and we go through police cars. We do. So that's why this is being brought before the budget, is there a need at this moment.
Any other discussion? Hearing and,
I have
Ms.
a
McGee?
question. How often do we purchase cars? How many have we purchased in the last year?
Captain, are you able to answer that?
What is the average of cars we purchase?
Are we talking about an actual patrol vehicle that's used on patrol? They typically last 3 to 4 years, about 25,000 miles a year, and those are rough miles. A lot of curbs and potholes and driving fast. They get beat up pretty good by that 3rd or the 4th year. And I believe these vehicles that are in question are actually are used by our SID crew. And they've been in the shop more often than on the road lately. They are end of life and usability. And I think they were due to be replaced in July with the next budget. I think it's just an acceleration of that.
So 3 years is the maximum times that,
3 to 4 years. The traffic vehicles last a little bit longer. They're not driven 24/7, but the actual patrol vehicles that our officers drive in, they rarely get a break. They maybe they're on the road 36 of 48 hours if you look at it in a 2-day span.
If you're done,
I am.
Madam President?
Mr. Noonan.
So I didn't, you may have answered this question, but unless people are, I might have tinnitus interfering with my hearing, but unless people speak directly into the microphone, I just don't hear them. I hear like a mumbling. It's not good. But how many cars have we been buying, police cars have we been buying every year, or like in the last year also?
Well, I apologize. My first time in my current position as the patrol captain. Typically, we rotate about a quarter of our fleet out every year. So it'd be 8 to 10 cars. I think this last year we replaced our traffic vehicles.
About 8 to 10 cars a
Yes.
year is what we've been buying.
Yeah, unfortunately, if one is totaled out in an accident or something like that,
Yeah.
we replace it sooner than anticipated.
Thank you.
One
Thank you
more
much.
question. Are they usually new cars or
Are what usually new cars?
when we purchase cars?
Yes, yes. We were lucky enough last year, DC Rushton was able to get a pretty good deal on some Dodge Chargers that were replaced our traffic fleet, just the radar cars. Those were a year older, and that's why we was able to get a good deal. So we're actually able to replace more vehicles at a better price. It doesn't come along often, though.
Anything additional?
I do.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13C, request of the Police Department to award the purchase and upfitting of 2 police vehicles in the total amount of $107,450.32 through the State of Michigan contract with LaFontaine Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Lansing for the purchase of the vehicles and through Canfield Equipment Services, Inc. for the upfitting. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13D, request for a line item transfer between general fund ledger account numbers in the amount of $313,985 to cover the unexpected cost associated with replacing 20 sanitation truck floors, to cover the cost associated with the rehabilitation of city-owned property at 14217 East 9 Mile, and to cover the cost associated with temporary employee cost. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Mr. Lafferty?
Thank you. The 20 sanitation truck floors, I got caught up on that myself and would like a little clarification on that, if I could, please.
Good evening, Council. Scott Raydell, Superintendent at DPW.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Could you explain exactly what we're doing with
I
this?
can. Basically, it's a wear and tear issue with the floors of the garbage truck. They wear thin. The push-out blade goes back and forth on it, and it just wears out, gets rusty, and the floors actually buckle, and the truck won't operate properly. So we had Right Way Truck and Trailer. We contracted them to do the work. We bought the parts, and they basically cut the floors out of all the garbage trucks and welded in new steel. For 20 garbage trucks, they're all purchased at the same time.
Okay, so this, the container for the garbage
Correct.
sits on top of?
Yes, sir. The actual truck body.
Okay, and
Yes.
that's what we're replacing?
Correct.
That's what I needed to understand.
That's it.
Thank you. No other questions?
Any additional discussion? Okay, hearing, and seeing none, I will
Thank you, council.
call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13E, notice of appointment of Jared Gayos as the Director of Human Resources. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
With discussion, please.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. I had the pleasure of having lunch with Mr. Gayos last week. We had about a 2-hour lunch. And I will say, without knowing his name, I had put out the things that I wanted to see in an HR director, and he checked off every box. I even went back to his high school and talked to people in high school, and he said he was a great guy. And he read books, right? He's got a great resume. He's got a degree from Michigan State, go green. Good. And he's got a master's in law. And he's got other certificates or in negotiation or labor relations and some other things. And Mr. Gayos asked me what I wanted to see in the department, what changes, and I said I wanted the department to be a safe place, and I wanted employees to be able to go there and get help, and I wanted the philosophy from him to be, how can I help you? How can I make you successful? We are here to approve things, not disapprove things, and we want everybody to be successful. And Mr. Gayos's philosophy is to talk issues through and be transparent, and I'm very, very impressed with that. If you'd like to come up.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Support anyone?
Support.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Rules are
So,
suspended.
yes, I agree with the entire philosophy that you just said. I think a lot of the times what we see with employers is that, you know, we're quick to go back to what the past practice is, right? We see what was black and white in our policies, in our charter, but things change. People change, incidents happen. So it's just listening to what the employees are seeing and they're feeling, right? I'm one person, but then we have almost 1,000 employees out there who are seeing something completely different. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to see changed. I'm going to work closely with the mayor, the civil service, my other HR employees, and really try to see what can we do differently that we have not been doing. The resident earlier, Ms. Lori, she mentioned accessibility, right? When I went to go turn in my application, it was kind of archaic. A lot of it was typed on a typewriter. You know, the accessibility for a PDF, Adobe, would be very accessible for us. According to the EEOO, we need to have accessibility for members of the public who may not have that kind of accessibility, who may not have the ability to download things using a printer and ink, who may not have the ability to come to City Hall and deliver an application. So it's the smallest things that can really go a long way. I look forward to working with the Department of Communications, right? Really getting our name out there. If we want to attract employees as the part-time employees coming up in the summer, you know, we really got to target the Gen Z, the millennials, the high schoolers. And how do you do that? 6 seconds. That's all they can look at, right? They look at what's big and flashing. $15 work for us, done. They love it, right? They're gonna have money for Taco Bell. They'll be excited. So those are the things that I look forward to doing: listening, communications, accessibility.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What did I say?
When can he start?
Madam President?
I start on Monday, if approved.
Yes, Melody, Vice President Melody McGee and I also really enjoyed our time. I hope talking to you. I think we were more focused on your ability to modernize our HR so that we actually are able to hire effectively. And so what was your answer regarding police? Can you help with the hiring of police?
Most of it is just working closely with the police commissioner and the union to see what are they doing versus what we can be doing. I follow their social media pages, and they do a great job, you know, promoting the positions that they have. But a lot of that I can't answer just yet until I sit down with them and communicate. But a lot of it's just taking in what I know and what they know, and how can we make a new resolution for that. So I look forward to those discussions.
We came away feeling really very positive and excited about your coming on board. And thank you so much. I hope you'll have a long tenure here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
I yield.
Thank you. Okay, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Absolutely, yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Welcome, thank you. Thrilled to have you. Next item.
Next item is 13F, which was 4E on the consent agenda, consideration and adoption of a resolution to approve contract modification number 1 and final to city contract WP 23794, Bunnert Road reconstruction, increasing the current contract amount by $76,215, resulting in a final contract amount of $4,130,354.65, and to issue payment number 11 and final in the amount of $399,598.07 to Zuniga Cement. So moved.
Support Lafferty with discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Good evening, Ms. Gapchis.
Good evening.
Thank you. We've talked about this particular stretch of road before. I know that there was some remedial work done. Could you characterize that, please? What's been done here so far?
Sure. The rideability was not to our standards, so I had the contractor hire a subcontractor who's a diamond grinding contractor, and he paid that out of his pocket to fix the vibrations in the road. And then once that was completed, we had the road tested and it passed our rideability spec.
So to your specs, at this point, you feel that everything has been met with all of necessary approvals, it meets our standards?
Yes.
Okay. And because I've gotten a couple additional comments that they're just not happy with the road.
Okay.
And so I wanted to, bring it to your attention in case we have a warranty, correct?
3 years, yes.
3 years. So standard warranty. And at what point do you go back and review? Is it based on complaints, or do you do a standard 3, 6, 9 months?
We always do a whole full entire warranty review at the 3rd year, the 3rd construction year after it's built.
Okay, but I'm sorry, let me clarify. Does engineering go out and look at a newly paved stretch of road 6 months later, a year later, to do a review? Is there any sort of quality check at that point?
I mean, once it's closed, not unless there's a complaint or something, then we'll go out.
Okay, all right. That are all the questions that I have. Thank you.
Okay.
Any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next
Thank you,
item.
Ms. Gapshes.
Sorry. Next item is 13H, which is rescission of item 4Q. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
I just want to clarify, the reason that they wanted to pull it back is there is an incorrect document included, so that'll be corrected and we'll put it on the next agenda, but we need to do this at this point.
Any other discussion? Okay, we're voting to rescind the item. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Item is rescinded. Next item.
Madam Chair, could I ask the attorney a question? Will that effectively then be a tabling?
We'll have to
Resend
resend.
it? Okay, thank you.
Resend, not resend,
Resend. Thank you. Next item is audience participation regarding general topics.
This audience is for general items only. General items. You could talk about the agenda if you'd like. You fill out a form on the right side of the stage. You have 3 minutes. If you need me to count you down, there is a monitor in front. Please let me know. First up is Lori Harris.
Okay, I forgot to mention during the budget discussion, I want to know about planning, because I really do wonder why we have a planning commission and why Mr. Worth, is representing the planning commission when they are being told, and the public is being told, that they have to vote yes. If the planning department approves something, the commission has to vote yes. So we need to figure out a way to get more people involved. I just heard that on the corner, the biggest corner by my house, there's going to be another gas station. There's already 2 gas stations. This will be a gas station and a 7-Eleven. Like, I don't think we need 3 gas stations on the corner. And a lot of this happens in planning. Oh, sorry. And ZBA. We need to pay attention to what's going on, and I can't do it by myself. And I tried to get people to come, tonight for the budget public hearing. And we're all concerned, but no one's here at the microphone except for a couple people. I also want to remind the city that ADA is a civil rights law. And we are failing miserably in the city of Warren just with the basics of parking access and then getting to the door of the business. These are step-by-step important. And that's probably all I can really say. I'm going to be live streaming the mayor's community check-in Thursday night. So maybe people will watch that. And I'm very disappointed in the mayor's budget presentation last week because according to her goals that were published on the announcement, she didn't meet those goals because there was nothing really discussed about the budget. And most people don't have the ability to go through 300 pages and even understand what's going on. So we need to do better. And have a good night, you guys.
Thank you. Next is Bud Ayers.
Good evening, Council. I'm here tonight to request a review of the maintenance, grading, and material used on the dirt roads in the city of Warren, specifically Merrick Avenue, which is the street I live on. The 21 AA material that they're using is put down to fill the voids in the dirt road, and it's put down loosely. And this material, after it's put down, it is, I guess you could say, scattered across the concrete road that is just to the south of the dirt road on Merrick. Half of Merrick is dirt, half of Merrick is concrete. So after this process is done, this material gets from the cars and actually the grader and the people that do it, this material gets put onto the concrete road, and then the 21 AA, it's actually a deteriorating concrete, which then turns into this fine dust, which becomes airborne and just causes havoc on our homes, our cars, personal health issues. It contains silica, and I'm probably not doing a good job of explaining this, but if you guys would like to see this, this is horrible. I would like you guys to just take a look at the material they're putting down and where it's coming from and what it's doing to our neighborhood. This stuff gets washed down the storm drains. It gets washed into the ditches. These rocks come all over our property. The cars throw them everywhere. So I can leave this here with you guys if you'd like. I had a statement written up. I kind of went off script here. Apologize. First time speaking publicly.
You're totally fine.
Sorry.
If you could, you can't leave that at the podium, but certainly.
You want it?
No, no, I appreciate that, but we will certainly have.
This is actually just from one concrete square in front of my house after one cycle of them doing this in our neighborhood.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, it's just, this has been going on. It's gotten worse over the last 2 to 3 years. They've changed the material that they're putting down on this dirt road for maintenance, and whether they're getting it cheaper or whatever, which I can understand that. I just wish you would stop using this, because this silica crystal that's in here, really, man, it causes damage to your lungs, to our pets, to our vegetation, everything. So, apologize, I didn't explain it very well.
No
but
worries. If you could wait till the end of the meeting, I'm happy to get your phone number and pass it on to our DPW
Well,
department.
I've talked to Scott, he was here.
Okay,
He's been out
good.
to my house, and that went nowhere, that's why I'm here. It didn't go good. It did not go good. So,
Okay.
He's been out, I've spoke to him. I pretty much just get blown off, you know? So, man, one of the things is when they.
You're at your 3 minutes,
Okay,
so
that's cool.
we'll respond to you, though, once we have a chance. Yeah, thank you. Next is Representative Mysong.
Thank you, Council President Rogan-Sees. Good evening, members of the City Council. I'm Mai Song, your state representative for the 13th House District. It's an honor to be here before you tonight. I want to wish all of you a happy Earth Day and also give you guys a legislative update on what's happening in Lansing. In February, the governor signed into law Public Act 1 and 2, which raised the minimum wage and provided paid earned sick time for workers. And I'm a part of a bipartisan work group here in Macomb County. We are working together to address the discharge that is coming in from Oakland County, given the record rainfall that has been coming down, and because of climate change, these things are not going to go away, but wanted to let you guys know that we are working together to address this. Oakland County is applying for a new permit, and so this permitting process is going through Eagle, and we are working to make sure that the permit also includes that they clean up their discharge before it's discharged into the Red Run, which goes into Lake St. Clair. I did co-sponsor bipartisan legislation that would create a more stricter process and to try and alleviate this issue. Today, the House passed 2 bills that would create a public safety trust fund. This is money that would be from the sales tax on an annual basis. It would create a fund of $75 million statewide annually, and under the legislation, Warren would receive about $1.1 million for the police department. So this public safety trust fund would be set up to put money aside to help with reducing crime, violence, and increasing safety in the community. And so if voted on by the Senate and signed by the governor, then this would ensure that some of that sales tax money is put away, and that the local municipalities would get a portion of that money back to help address communities' public safety. As a member of the Families and Veterans Committee, I've heard testimony from officials and the Department of Military Veterans Affairs about our veterans and how many of them, including our current military service members, lack access to basic medical care and dental care. So I will be hosting a Veterans Resource Fair on May 12th. On Monday from 6:30 to 8:30. I have flyers here. If it's okay, I would love to give these to you after the meeting, and if you could get the word out about veterans and the support that they deserve. Thank you so
We're
much.
at time. Thank you. That is the end of audience. Next item is
Council response to audience. Madam Chair?
Ms. Moore.
Just remind everybody, our budget hearings are Saturday. Everyone is welcome, 9 o'clock. Is it 8:30, 8:30 or 9? 9 o'clock in Conference Room A, and we'll be here all day for your enjoyment. So anybody wants to stop by, or if you want to hook in remotely, I will put that link on the council's Facebook page. Thank you.
8:30 is when we start the coffee.
Oh, that's right.
Madam-
Any- Mr. Lafferty?
Chair. Thank you. Regarding the appointment that we were very enthusiastic to support, I didn't want to cast a shadow on that particular appointment because it's so well earned by the candidate that we have. But I wanted to share with everyone prior to tonight's meeting and in conversation with the Chief of Staff for the City of Warren, for the Mayor, I made it very clear that inaction relative to the appointment of the City Attorney is inexcusable. At this point, how many times did Ms. Michaels come up to us? How many times was she mentioned by name? Ms. Michaels is taking care of this contract. We're going to refer this to the City Attorney, to Ms. Michaels' office. For over a year, Ms. Michaels has been serving the city in the capacity of the City Attorney. But she is not afforded the salary or the title that she deserves for doing that job. And that is inexcusable. The mayor has absolutely no excuse for not sending the appointment for the city attorney to the council. And yes, I am suggesting that she appoint Ms. Michaels. She is doing an incredible job. She is talented, she is educated, and she is without a doubt the most experienced person that we could ask for. And at this point, we have the budget coming up, and the council controls the purse. I would strongly recommend to the mayor, do your job and appoint the city attorney, and do it quickly. In fact, do it by May 13th. You are put on notice. Thank you.
Any additional council response? Okay, hearing none. Next item.
Motion to adjourn.
Support Dwyer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?